Hello and welcome to World Politics This Week in 8 minutes or less. My name is Finley Jepp and I apologise because I didn't do a video last week. So this video I will cover the last 14 days. So what happened this last fortnight? Well, it's been a busy time for Donald Trump, who began fulfilling his promise to reverse everything Obama did with a rash decision to end the US's involvement in the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. The TPP is a free trade agreement that was negotiated with 12 countries over 10 or so years, drafted in late 2015 and signed in February 2016. The deal was between Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, Vietnam, and until 23rd of January 2017, the United States. Now, the partnership wasn't all good. For Australia, it really wasn't helpful. It had no significant benefits, while the argument went that overly restrictive copyright laws, raised prices on medicine, was bad for democracy, and had no real mention on the consequences on the environment. I'll go through these points briefly. Medicine prices. At the time of the debate over the TPP, this was one of the biggest, most accepted arguments against the trade agreement. Such an agreement meant that the stronger monopoly rights would drive prices up, limit biologic medicines which are used to treat cancer, and delay access of cheaper medicines to developing countries. TPP was also criticised for allowing corporate bodies and foreign investors to sue the Australian government and other governments for things like stronger environmental laws, preventing farmland from being used for coal mining, and raising the minimum wage. Sorry, we're going to have to... I'll get back to you in a sec. Just waiting for that mower to stop. Anyway. So yeah, the TPP would allow these global corporations to sue the government. Corporations can do this if they can argue that such a change in law on the local, state or national level harms their investment. And the international tribunals have no appeals and no independent judges. Even before the TPP, there were cases of companies suing governments on issues like Australia's cigarette packaging laws. This is disturbing and frankly undemocratic. And then there are the changes to copyright laws and internet use. Copyright has always been a sensitive issue because on one side they're the authors, film producers and companies that want to protect their creations from being stolen or modified with no benefit going towards the actual authors. While on the other hand, there is the public who are prepared to pay for books and films, but only if there's for reasonable cost and convenient purchase. The purpose of copyright has also changed over time, and not completely for the better, because now it's less about everything being fair and more about how much money companies and authors and producers, but these days mostly companies, how much companies can make and get from the public. And because of this, people are more and more turning to illegal downloading, pirating and use of the internet in shady ways to access intellectual property. All of this sets up the situation of the TPP's copyright regulations and why they were controversial. It's easy to say you oppose the stealing of intellectual property, but when the TPP's regulations say you can be sent to jail for downloading an episode of your favourite TV show, then maybe it's time to review the current laws and get back to what copyright was supposed to be about. So few benefits and lots of negative effects. That's the situation of the TPP in Australia, but in America it's quite a different story. The partnership helped American exports, strengthened the American economy and supported well-paying jobs. It built vital connections between the US and other countries and spread their influence. But most importantly, it meant America had become a real rival to China, and it limited China's power as an exporter. Now with the US gone, it leaves China's door wide open. China may even join the TPP. Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull, invited the country along on 24th of January. And for the Australia at least, I don't think this is such a bad idea. I mean, Australia's connections with America are dwindling. And Australia doesn't have the same enthusiasm to blindly follow Trump as it used to with the USA Vietnam War. If we're going to be anyone's sheep, why not China? But that's just my opinion. What's yours? Comment below about what you think of this issue. But in any case, on January 23rd, Trump signed an order to pull America out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And so that was just one of the things, of the many things he did. He began working on, not actually, he wouldn't want to get those little hands of his dirty, but he began working on plans to build an impenetrable physical wall along the Mexican border, which many thought would not happen because they don't know how Mexico would pay for it. So I did a bit of digging around. Pretty much the idea was to bully Mexico into paying. In Trump's document, Pay for the Wall, he points out that the US has all the leverage, which is true. They have a huge trade deficit, allow Mexicans in America to send over $24 billion a year with little tax to their family and relatives, and have the power when it comes to immigration. Trump's plan was to make Mexico give a one-time payment of $10 billion by either threatening to cancel visas, stop trade, or raising the visa fee. It's worth pointing out that $10 billion would not cover the costs of completing the border wall. But it turns out that the Mexican president, Enrique Peña Nieto, wasn't going to give in so easily. The Mexican president cancelled his trip to the White House when Trump put these plans in place and refused to pay for the wall. So the White House had to find this money somewhere else. In the end, it's going to come off a 20% tax of all imports from Mexico. So now Hillary's blackberries that are made in Mexico will be 20% more expensive. Revenge! Okay, so Trump has withdrawn from the TPP and begun plans for the Mexico border wall. But those things didn't come close to the big news story this week. That title goes to the immigration ban. On January 27th, Donald took up his pen, a bit like this one, and scribbled his signature on a piece of paper, with Mike Pence and James Mattis by his side. He signed an executive order banning any non-Americans from 7 countries in the Middle East from coming to the US for the next 90 days. Suspended intake of refugees from all countries for 120 days and stopped Syrian refugees indefinitely. There was chaos at the airports, towns and across the country. This ban was supposed to be to stop terrorists from coming to America, but the numbers, it's fair to say, don't add up. These 7 Muslim majority countries, and it's worth pointing out that they are Muslim majority, and those are Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen, actually pose so little threat to American people, it's not really worth thinking about. The chances of attack from a citizen of these countries in America is 1 in 1.5 million, and of the refugees from any country, 1 in 1.64 billion. There has never been an attack in America by a citizen from one of these countries. But that didn't stop Kellyanne Conway from citing the Bowling Green massacre that never happened in order to defend the travel ban. There was outrage. I bet she's regretting that one. Pun for the week. But thankfully there was a whole heap of legal action. A judge by the name of James Robert ruled that the executive order was unlawful because it discriminated against a religion. And for the moment, the travel ban has been blocked. People are scrambling to get onto planes to the US because, rest assured, or not, Trump's lawyers will be onto this. I would have loved to be put more in this episode, the refugee deals with Australia, or maybe some news that isn't about Trump. But I'm already pressing my time constraint, so next time I promise not everything will be about Trump. If you like this video, please like, and if you'd like to watch more, subscribe. Soon I'm hoping to make videos on some specific politicians, as well as this weekly series, but until next time, my name's Finley Japp, thank you for watching.